Well, I've just got back from a short session at my local Birch Syndicate, where we seemed to have nearly all the seasons within the 48 hours I was there. And I hadn't been up there for a while, but it was really like going home. I bumped into some really lovely people, and I have to say the hot topic of conversation at the time was that the place hadn't been fishing all that well. So I count myself fortunate that I managed to catch a few fish, including a couple of chunks. So sit back and relax, and you're very welcome to join me on this Journeyman's Tales. There you go. Just coming up to 9 o'clock. The fat end of £17. I can't remember now, 17, 14, something like that anyway. And I lost one on the same rod. This is the left-hand rod in the open water. About half an hour before, unfortunately, but we're in. All right, babe. Here we go, just after 10 o'clock, middle rod. Couldn't pull it out the line clip actually, just tightened it up. And there she is, another £17, going to be the trip of the 17 pounders. So the next one, by my calculations, is going to be 34. Happy days, eh? Not the biggest, but very pretty. And hopefully the showers will stop soon and we can do an update. Well, it's now mid-morning and the rain has stopped for a little bit, although it's quite dark behind me, and as I say that, it's starting to rain again. So, abort. Well, 3 times I've tried to do a morning catch-up. As soon as you get the camera out, it starts raining again. It's a bit like April showers. 1 minute it's pouring down with rain, very fine rain, enough to soak everything, and the next minute it's brilliant sunshine, and you don't know whether you're soaking wet from the rain or from sweat, to be perfectly honest, because it's not cold. The only unfortunate bit is I was hoping the barometer was going to drop, but it's kind of maintaining where it is at the moment. But we've had a couple of fish, both mid 17 pounders. I did lose one first thing on the left hand rod, and that felt like a decent fish too. Don't they always when you lose them? But yeah, I've had one on the left hand rod in open water and one on the island shelf. Both on bottom baits, tipped with a bit of orange. My faithful wafter on the right hand rod hasn't done anything at the moment, but we'll leave it for the rest of the day, and I think I might swap it over, certainly to a bottom bait, a bit of orange. They seem to be attracted to that bit of orange, and slot the right hand rod in between what is the left hand rod and the middle rod at the moment. Seems to be more of a feeding area. Now, whilst I've been, there's a grebe. Whilst I've been putting the middle rod and the right hand rod out towards the island with the boat, and I've been dropping bait with the boat, whilst I'm doing that, I've also been spombing over the top. If I wasn't fishing this swim and I was fishing in a swim that was within a catapult air range, that's all I'd be doing. The aim was on this trip to not try and bait like a bait boat angler, but to spread it around a bit more. I don't know if it makes any difference, but just get off that norm. There seems to be a hell of a lot of boats on here now. So just kind of break away from that and spread bait a bit more. I've had the boilies been softening, so I can't really stick them out, but they're catapulting out between 12 and 15 rats. But so that's what I've been doing. The left hand rod I've been catapulting baits over, so I'm getting a fair old spread of bait. I've been putting the middle rod and the right hand rod out with the bait boat, and then I've been spombing over the top of it. And I mean, there's no way you're going to keep spombing down the same hole every time, so you're getting that a little bit more of a spread to it. But it's yeah, pouring down with rain again. Hopefully at some point we'll be able to get out and do a bit more. I was going to give you an update on the last video when I was talking about the fox copper core leader and the potential banning of and the banning of lead core leaders. I've spoken to people who run fisheries and some fishery owners and got their views on it. But yeah, hopefully maybe this afternoon, this evening, when it's due to be drying up, we can get into conversation about that. Anyway, in the meantime, it's coffee time. Early afternoon catch up in between the showers of rain which are carrying on. So yeah, I've had 2 17 pounders. They could have been 30s, couldn't they? You just don't know. But on the usual, well, certainly usual for me, squid and orange bottom bait, but tipped with a bit of orange, and that's what's had the fish. Nothing new, nothing overly exciting about that. As I said, I'm spomming as much bait, or catapulting as much bait out as I possibly can, as opposed to dumping it off the boat, just to try and present something a little bit differently. Whether that's working or not, who's to know. The other exciting bit of kit is I bought one of these Mozzie zappers for the house, and just out of sheer devilment I thought I'd bring it along and see if it actually works. Well, it's actually full of little bits and pieces, and quite a large moth actually. So it is working, it is killing them, but I think it's obviously, presumably it's attracting them in anyway, so it can kill them. So I don't think it's just picking up passing trade. I think it's deliberately touting for business. The only drawback with it is it makes the bivvy look like a bit of a tart's boudoir in the middle of the night when you've got this light glowing away in there. But there we are. But going back to the last video where I was using the Fox copper core leader, and I was talking about the potential for it to be banned and the leg core being banned in various waters. Well, I've spoken to a couple of fishery owners and people who run fisheries, and well, it's probably what you'd expect really if you applied a bit of thought to it. But it's not the product that's the problem. It's the people using it as the problem. Now, despite there being copious amounts of books and videos out there showing you how to do things properly and how to set things up correctly so it's all fish safe, I don't know, people just don't know, ignore it, can't be bothered, but for whatever reason they're still churning out things that they shouldn't be churning out, with knots tied in leaders, so they are totally and utterly unsafe for fishing, and quite understandably people who run fisheries or own fisheries are banning them. And yeah, some places still allow them. The Oxford Syndicate still allows them, so I will use that leader again in the foreseeable future to formulate a long-term opinion on it. But I'm quite impressed with it, I have to say. But where you can't use it, you don't use it. If you use tubing, you use tubing. It doesn't detract from anything really, apart from the difficulty of getting fluorocarbon line through 3 foot of tubing, but it can be done if you persist. Anyway, that's it basically. I'm hoping that they're going to be back later on, maybe. I haven't seen anything for a while, although the guy who's just moving into the dance floor next to me said he's seen a couple of fish as soon as he walked into the swim, so they're obviously still about. And it's not been fishing overly productively, apparently, but there we are. 3 runs, 2 fish. Could have been 30s. We wait with bated breath. There you go, it's just coming up to 5 o'clock, final evening, and we can play guess the weight, can't we? Yes, 17 pounds and ounces off the island shelf. Thank you very much. Send your big mama along, please. Oh. Trip of the 17 pounders. Thank you very much. Well, time is evaporating fast now. Unfortunately, we're well into the last evening. I've redone all 3 rods. I've got 2 in open water, and the right hand rod is long on the island where that last fish came from, so that's 3 17 pounders now, which is unusual for this place. Normally you're picking up something a little bit bigger, potentially quite a bit bigger, but it is fishing sticky by everybody I've spoken to, saying it's fishing particularly hard for this time of year. Anyway, it only needs 1 run, doesn't it? You could be swinging from the chandeliers. We'll see. This is putting up some effort. Oh, fins. Come on, play nice. Right, play nice now. Come on now. It's enough. Yes, 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 yes. Don't think that's 17. There you go. Upburst 8 on the left hand rod. And that's not 17. 29 pounds, 5 ounces. Absolutely thrilled to bits with that. Thrilled to bits with it. And a very lovely looking thing she is too. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Super. Right, couple of stills, get her back, and get that rod back on the spot. That's brightened my day up no end. Here we are, about 3:30 in the morning, third fish of the night. The other two together wouldn't have got anywhere near the weight of this one. 35 pounds, 5 ounces on the right hand rod. All of them come from the right hand rod on the island, bottom of the island shelf. Absolutely delighted. Is she going? Thank you, thank you. Wonderful, eh? And she came in rather nicely too. Didn't stress me out. Bless her. Good morning. And what a busy night that was. I think the first fish turned up about midnight in the height of the storm. The wind was really going for it. It was hammering down with rain. And I don't know, 12, 13 pound mirror maybe, something like that. That went straight back. And then 2 o'clock, it was the right hand rod, and the same rod went off again. Less windy, but still pouring down with rain. And that was a similar sort of size common. Scraper, double. And then it began to calm down a bit. The wind dropped off and the rain began to ease off a bit. And I think about 3:30, something like that. The same rod went off again with that fantastic 35. Oof. He's just stuck his head out mid-water. Nowhere near any bait, unfortunately. Yeah, so managed to get a bit of video footage of that. The rain that eased off, it was only light rain, so wasn't so bad. And hopefully it's going to dry off a bit this morning. The sun is due to come breaking through at some point. Dry off a bit before I have to start packing away. We've got the geese, I don't know what they look like, they're just eating gravel. They're obviously not. There's got to be something nutritious in it, but they're just wandering up and down the path here, eating constantly. And there we are. So yeah, hopefully the rains are finished now. Sun's going to come out a bit. But yeah, I'm going to put a couple of pouches of bait over the mid-water area. He's stuck his head out again. Right, if I spray a bit of bait around with the catapult, he might be encouraged to go and feed. I'm going to do that now. I'll catch you later. There we are, 19.6, it's about 7:30ish, something like that, and that was taken over the spot where you saw me catapulting some bait out, so that was well worth doing, and it went off like a train. But I mean, there's mad commons for you, isn't it? Fantastic. You'll never guess. It's a common on this side as well. Right, get the rod out, a bit more bait before I have to go. Well, that's me done. I've done my 48 hours. Most of the gear's been put away, I just got the rods to sort out. Now, everybody I've spoke to said this place has been fishing quite difficult of late, so I count myself very fortunate to have had 8 fish. And the icing on the cake is that I think, I'll have to do a bit more research when I get home, but I think that 35 was the fish I had the pleasure of naming when she first went through the 30 barrier. So that fish, CJ. And I had a couple of times before she went through into 30s, and that's the first time I've seen her since. So, when you get repeat captures like that, I'm not that bothered. I just count myself fortunate to have caught her again. Anyway, as I say, that's me done. I've just got the rods to sort out and put them away, and I'm off down the motorway. Thanks for your company on this Journeyman's Tales, and I'll catch you all again soon. Cheers for now. Here we go, rods on the floor, middle rod, 18 pound 8, very lively still. She's going back.